The Aurora was spiraling out of control. Warning lights flashed, alarms blared, and the ship shuddered violently as it hurtled through the void. I gripped the armrests of my seat, my knuckles turning white. "Brace for impact!" I yelled over the chaos. Captain Naomi Winters, our fearless leader, wrestled with the controls, her face a mask of grim determination. "We're coming in hot. Prepare for a crash landing." Her voice was steady, but the tension was palpable. We all knew the stakes. Dr. Alex Ramirez, our resident geneticist, clung to his station, eyes wide with a mixture of fear and fascination. Lieutenant Mark Spencer, ever the pragmatic second-in-command, barked orders to the crew, trying to maintain some semblance of order amidst the pandemonium. Lily Chen, our engineer, frantically worked to stabilize the ship, her fingers dancing over the console with desperate speed. The ground rushed up to meet us, a blur of green and blue. I held my breath. The impact was bone-jarring, the ship skidding and plowing through the lush, verdant landscape. Trees snapped like toothpicks, debris flying in all directions. The Aurora finally came to a halt, a smoking wreck, but intact. We sat in stunned silence for a moment, the reality of our situation sinking in. Naomi was the first to move. "Everyone okay?" she asked, her voice cutting through the haze of adrenaline and fear. "I'm fine," I managed, unbuckling my harness. Alex nodded, still dazed but uninjured. Mark and Lily gave similar affirmations. We quickly assessed the damage, finding the ship battered but not beyond repair. "Let's set up a temporary camp outside," Naomi ordered. "We need to assess our surroundings and figure out our next steps." As we emerged from the wreckage, the sight that greeted us was nothing short of breathtaking. Eden was a world of vibrant colors and lush vegetation, an almost utopian paradise. But there was no time to marvel at the scenery. We needed to secure our position and ensure our safety. We were in the midst of setting up our makeshift camp when they arrived. A group of women, tall and ethereal, moved gracefully through the underbrush. Their leader, Emily, stepped forward, her presence commanding attention. She was strikingly beautiful, with a calm and composed demeanor that hinted at an inner strength. "Welcome to Eden," she said in perfect English, her voice melodic and soothing. "I am Emily, the leader of our people. We noticed your crash and came to offer our assistance." Naomi's eyes narrowed slightly, her guard up. "Thank you, Emily. We appreciate your help. Our ship sustained significant damage during the crash. Any assistance you can provide would be invaluable." Emily smiled warmly. "Of course. We possess advanced technology that can aid in your repairs. Please let us help you." Despite her hospitality, Naomi remained cautious. "We'll accept your help, but we'll need to oversee any repairs. This is our ship and our responsibility." Emily nodded, her expression understanding. "Naturally. We will work together to ensure your safety and the repair of your vessel." Over the next few days, Emily and her people worked alongside us to repair the Aurora. Their technology was indeed advanced, far beyond anything we had encountered before. Dr. Alex Ramirez was particularly captivated, spending hours in deep conversation with Emily about their society and technology. "Eden is remarkable," Alex said one evening as we sat around the campfire. "Their integration of technology and nature is seamless. It's like they've achieved a perfect balance." Naomi nodded, but her eyes were always on the horizon, always watchful. "It's impressive, but we need to remain vigilant. We still don't know much about these people or their intentions." Mark, ever the realist, chimed in. "Naomi's right. We can't afford to let our guard down." Lily, who had formed a quick bond with some of the alien women, looked troubled. They've been nothing but kind and helpful. Maybe we're being too suspicious." "Better to be cautious than sorry," Naomi said firmly. "Keep your eyes open and report anything unusual." As the days passed, Naomi's suspicions grew. There were areas in the alien city that were strictly off-limits, and some of their explanations about their technology and history seemed evasive. Naomi began to discreetly gather information, observing the aliens' behavior closely. One afternoon, Naomi pulled me aside. "Have you noticed how they're always steering us away from certain parts of the city?" I nodded. "Yeah, it's odd, and some of their answers to our questions don't quite add up." Naomi's expression hardened. "There's something they're not telling us. We need to find out what it is." That night, while the rest of the crew slept, Naomi and I sneaked out of the camp. We made our way to the alien lab, avoiding the patrols and using the shadows for cover. Naomi's instincts had rarely led us astray, and I trusted her judgment. We slipped into the lab, our hearts pounding. Naomi moved with practiced stealth, her eyes scanning the room for anything out of place. She found it in a hidden compartment, a series of files detailing genetic experiments. The implications were staggering. "Look at this," Naomi whispered, her voice tinged with anger and betrayal. "They're conducting genetic experiments aimed at ensuring their survival. A plague wiped out their males. They want to use us to save their species." My mind raced. This is why they were so eager to help us. They need us. Naomi's eyes flashed with determination. "We need to confront Emily. Now." We returned to the camp, adrenaline coursing through our veins. Naomi woke Emily and led her away from the others. The confrontation was intense, emotions running high. "You lied to us," Naomi accused, thrusting the files into Emily's hands. "You've been using us for your experiments." Emily's face fell, a mixture of guilt and desperation. "Yes, we have been conducting experiments, but it's because we have no other choice. Our species is dying. We need your help to survive." Naomi's expression softened slightly, but her resolve remained. "We understand your desperation, but you should have been honest with us. Trust is a two-way street." Emily nodded, tears welling in her eyes. "I know. Please, give us a chance to explain and find a way to help each other. We never meant to harm you." Naomi sighed, the weight of leadership heavy on her shoulders. "We'll listen, but this changes everything. From now on, no more secrets." As the dawn broke over Eden, the fragile alliance between humans and aliens teetered on the brink of collapse, and the true test of our survival had only just begun. Alex became increasingly absorbed in the alien technology. His eyes sparkled with excitement as he discussed bioengineering breakthroughs with Lyra, one of the lead scientists. I watched from a distance, uneasy about the bond forming between them. Their whispered conversations and shared glances did little to reassure me. One evening I approached Alex as he reviewed some alien schematics. "Alex, we need to talk." He looked up, irritation flickering in his eyes. "What is it, Naomi?" "I'm worried about how close you're getting to them," I said, keeping my voice low but firm. "Their technology is impressive, but we need to consider the ethical implications." He sighed, rubbing the bridge of his nose. "Naomi, this technology could revolutionize human medicine. The potential benefits are enormous. I can't just ignore that." "I understand, but we're guests here, and we don't fully understand their motives." His gaze hardened. "Their motives are clear. They're trying to survive. We have the chance to help an entire race. Can't you see the bigger picture?" I felt the tension building between us. "I'm not saying we shouldn't help, but we need to be cautious. There's something they're not telling us." Alex shook his head, exasperated. You always think the worst of people. Maybe if you trusted them a little, we could actually make some progress. I wanted to argue, but I knew it would be pointless. Alex was too deeply entangled, his judgment clouded by his fascination and growing feelings for Lyra. I walked away, the rift between us widening. It started subtly, a persistent headache, a faint rash, a strange tingling sensation in my fingertips. I brushed it off as a reaction to the new environment, but then Lily collapsed during a routine maintenance check. Her skin was clammy, her breathing shallow. "Get her inside," Naomi barked, urgency lacing her tone. We rushed Lily to the medical bay, where Alex and I worked to stabilize her. But as I watched the readings on the monitor, a chilling realization crept over me. These symptoms weren't just environmental. Something else was at play. "We need to figure out what's causing this," Naomi said, her eyes dark with concern. "This isn't normal." Mark, ever the practical one, nodded. "We should start by analyzing the air and water samples. Maybe there's something we're missing." I agreed, but my gut told me the answer lay elsewhere. I began to notice other changes among the crew, subtle but undeniable. Enhanced strength, quicker reflexes, heightened senses. It was as if our bodies were being reprogrammed. Determined to get to the bottom of this, I intensified my investigation. Late at night, while the others slept, I scoured the alien lab for clues. It was there, among the data files and genetic sequences, that I found the truth. The aliens had been secretly altering our DNA. The changes were subtle, designed to adapt us to their environment, but the implications were staggering. I felt a cold fury rise within me. They had been using us as guinea pigs. I confronted Emily, the hidden files clutched in my hand. "What the hell is this?" I demanded, thrusting the documents at her. Emily's face paled as she glanced at the papers. "Naomi, please let me explain." "Explain?" I hissed. "You've been experimenting on us without our consent. How could you do this?" Her eyes filled with a desperate sorrow. "We had no choice. Our species is on the brink of extinction. The genetic plague wiped out our males, and we needed to find a way to ensure our survival. We never intended to harm you." I could see the pain in her eyes, but it did little to quell my anger. "You manipulated us, betrayed our trust. How can you expect us to forgive that?" Emily bowed her head, tears slipping down her cheeks. "I know what we did was wrong, but please, understand our desperation. We need your help." I felt torn. Her plea was genuine, but the betrayal cut deep. "This changes everything," I said quietly. "From now on, no more secrets." The next morning, I gathered the crew. "There's something you all need to know," I began, my voice steady despite the turmoil within. "The aliens have been altering our DNA without our consent." A murmur of shock rippled through the group. Alex's face went pale as he realized the extent of his involvement. "Naomi, are you sure?" Mark asked, his jaw clenched. I nodded. "I've seen the files. They're trying to adapt us to their environment, to use us to save their race." Alex looked stricken. "Lyra, she never told me." "Because she knew you'd never agree," I said bitterly. "They used our trust against us." The room erupted into chaos. Voices overlapped. Accusations flew. Alex looked devastated, guilt and betrayal warring in his eyes. I didn't know," he whispered, his voice breaking. Naomi stepped forward, her presence commanding silence. "We need to confront Emily and her scientists. They owe us the truth." Together, we stormed the alien lab. Emily and her team looked up in surprise as we entered. "We need to talk," Naomi said, her voice ice cold. The confrontation was intense, emotions running high. Emily defended their actions as necessary for their race's survival. "We had no other choice," she insisted. "We had to adapt you to our world to ensure our future." "But at what cost?" Mark demanded. "You violated our trust, used us as experiments." Emily's eyes filled with tears. "I know, and I'm sorry, but please, understand our desperation. We never meant to harm you." The crew felt a mix of emotions: betrayal, anger, and a reluctant empathy. Alex, in particular, struggled with the depth of his involvement with Lyra. "We trusted you," he said quietly, his voice filled with anguish. "How can we ever trust you again?" The once harmonious relationship between our two groups had fractured. The alliance, built on a foundation of lies, teetered on the brink of collapse. As we stood in that lab, the weight of our situation pressing down on us, I knew one thing for certain: nothing would ever be the same again. Tensions had reached a boiling point. Naomi stood in front of Emily, her jaw set and eyes blazing with determination. "We're leaving, Emily. Now." Emily's calm facade cracked, desperation leaking into her voice. "You can't. Without you, our race will die. We need more time." "We're not your lab rats," Naomi snapped. "You violated our trust. We have to protect ourselves." Emily stepped closer, her expression pleading. "Please, Naomi, if you leave now, all our efforts, everything we've worked for, will be lost." Naomi's eyes narrowed. "You should have thought of that before you started experimenting on us without our consent." A tense silence followed. The air seemed to crackle with the unspoken threat. Mark and Lily flanked Naomi, ready to act. Alex stood apart, torn between the woman he had come to care for and the crew he had sworn to protect. Naomi glanced at him, her expression hardening. "Alex, we need a plan. Can you sabotage their systems?" Alex hesitated, then nodded. "I can do it, but it'll take time." "Do it," Naomi ordered. "We can't stay here any longer." Alex turned to Lyra, who watched him with wide, hurt eyes. "I'm sorry," he whispered, then followed Naomi out of the lab. Back at the camp, the crew gathered to discuss their next move. Naomi laid out the plan, her voice steady and authoritative. "We'll use the alien technology we've learned to disable their main systems. It'll give us the advantage we need to escape." Mark nodded, his face grim. "And if they try to stop us?" Naomi's expression was cold. "We do whatever it takes to get off this planet." The night was dark and still as we moved through the alien city, shadows merging with shadows. Alex led the way, his knowledge of the alien technology guiding us. The main laboratory loomed ahead, a sleek structure of glass and metal. "Here," Alex whispered, stopping by a control panel. He began working, his fingers flying over the unfamiliar interface. Naomi, Mark, and I kept watch, our nerves stretched taut. Suddenly, alarms blared, shattering the silence. "They know we're here," Mark hissed. "Keep them off me," Alex said, his voice tight with concentration. Naomi nodded, motioning for us to spread out. I took cover behind a pillar, my heart pounding. The aliens would be here any second. I could feel the tension in the air, a tangible thing pressing down on us. Footsteps echoed through the corridor and Emily appeared, flanked by her guards. "Stop this madness," she pleaded. "You're making a terrible mistake." Naomi stepped forward, her voice a steely calm. "The mistake was yours, Emily. You forced our hand." Emily's eyes were wet with unshed tears. "Please, Naomi, we can find another way. Just give us a chance." A loud hum interrupted their standoff. Alex had succeeded. The lights flickered and dimmed and the hum of machinery died away. The main laboratory was offline. Emily's shoulders sagged in defeat. "You've doomed us," she whispered. Naomi's face softened, but her resolve remained. "No, Emily. There's still hope. We will take your case to the Galactic Council. We'll find a solution, but not like this." The next morning, the Aurora stood ready for departure. The repairs, thanks to the aliens' advanced technology, were complete. The crew moved with a sense of urgency, eager to leave Eden behind. I watched as Alex and Lyra said their goodbyes. The pain in their eyes was clear. "I'm sorry," Alex said softly. "I never wanted it to end like this." Lyra touched his cheek, her expression sorrowful. "Neither did I. But perhaps one day we'll meet again under better circumstances." Emily approached Naomi, her demeanor weary but hopeful. "Thank you, Naomi, for not abandoning us entirely."